Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
First, the bad news. SAP Business AI won't help you generate cubist versions of your family's holiday photos. But it will help you understand which supplier is best to help you roll out your plant-based packaging in Southeast Asia, or identify the training your junior project manager needs to rise up the ranks, and automate repetitive tasks while you focus on big innovations, so you can be ready for the next opportunity. Revolutionary technology, real-world results. That's SAP Business AI.
We're moving on to 2021. Hi, everyone. This is Anita Joyce here with Kelly Wilkness, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks, episode 448, 2021 Trend Alert. And we are on to the trends for next year. Forget 2020. We're done with you.
Trend alert with exclamation point. So yeah, we're going to have some great ideas for what you can add or avoid as 2021 comes down the pike. But right now, we're probably all doing a bit of Christmas decorating. Are you doing any Christmas decorating, Anita?
Oh, we had so much fun. Evie and I put up the trees, and then Evie put up, this is her first year to be teaching. She's a student teacher, and she, one of the trees that I had here, because, you and I have several trees. I don't know how this happens, but it just does. But she took one of those to school and decorated it, and the kids were just going nuts over the tree, and they're just so excited for Christmas. So, yeah. She's getting really into the spirit, so am I.
Isn't that wonderful? Especially with the year everyone has had. I'm seeing my neighborhood light up with Christmas lights and decorations. Houses that never had Christmas lights from year to year all of a sudden have like full-blown icicle lights and stuff going out. Yeah.
They're bored being at home.
I think people are either going absolutely crazy or taking a pass. I don't think there's a middle road on the holidays this year.
Because of COVID, there may not be a lot of people may not be doing in-person things, but driving through the neighborhoods, looking at the decorations, it's just made for that. You can just stay in your car. So I think everyone feels comfortable doing that. So I think that's going to be big this year.
We did something, or let me just say, I did something here this year that we haven't done in a while. I went deep into the traditional red and green Christmas colors. I didn't expect it to happen. I was pulling out the bins, and the bin with all the red stuff came out first. And I opened it up, and I just felt, nice and cozy. And I said to the girls, I'm like, I think I'm going to do reds and greens. And they were like, yes, do it. You haven't done traditional Christmas colors.
Really? They were excited about that.
They were excited. Maybe the neutrals and the golds and the silvers really didn't float their boat.
Oh, we have a tree with pink and purple ornaments on it, and it's very popular here.
I bet that is very popular. So we're going hardcore red and green. I pulled out the vintage stadium blankets that I have that are red and green plaid. I threw one over the table. I've got a little pine tree in a sap bucket and red shiny brights on everything. So I'm really enjoying it. So I think that's maybe the comfort and the cozy that we needed this year. Hey, something really exciting that we wanted to share with everyone before we get into the excitement of the 2021 trends is that we are the #1 home and garden podcast in a lot of places you might not expect. So we wanted to give a shout out to everyone in Nigeria, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Lithuania, and Oman, because in those places we are #1, Anita. So
Thanks for listening.
Thank you to everyone and welcome. We are so glad that you're listening. We get this information from a company that we are signed up with that gives us stats outside of the United States. So it is really wonderful to see where we're being listened to all over the globe. And we are absolutely honored to be number one in these places. Email us and let us know that you're out there, wherever you're listening from.
Yes, we love to hear from everybody.
So you ready to get into it?
I am.
What's the first trend alert that you learned about for 2021?
Multi-zone kitchens. And this is, people are home. They're not going out as much to eat as they used to. Some places you can't go out to eat. You can here in Texas, but people are cooking at home more. So, they're looking for larger kitchens and zone areas where you can maybe have a baking area, a prepping area, a chopping area, and really room for the whole family to be helping out with the meal. And I love that idea, and I love it when my family gets together, and I love it when we cook together. So I think room for that. And then when I say multi-zone, it can also refer to a snack station. We have a kind of a coffee bar tea area in our butler's pantry, and that's where I have maybe some little cookies. And actually, I just got, I don't know if you saw them at Trader Joe's, those chocolate stirring sticks for your coffee that kind of melted your coffee.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That's where those are. So, and then maybe an area for homework or work. So, you can imagine that this is something that's really needed now with everybody being home.
Yeah, the saying too many cooks in the kitchen is pretty much out the window. There are not only a lot of cooks in the kitchen, there's just a lot of people in the kitchen doing a lot of things because obviously it is the center of the home. I thought it was interesting the way the trend was being sort of interpreted, that they're saying the traditional kitchen triangle is really becoming sort of a trapezoid. Well, it might be becoming an octagon. There's just so many things that you need to be doing in that space. And so how can you implement that? Well, if you don't have an island and you have even a little bit of room, you can get one of those freestanding islands, or maybe get a thrifted piece, a piece of furniture, a dresser, something like that, a table. Anything to add to the kitchen to give another horizontal workspace could be really useful. And obviously, if it's a thrifted item, you could paint it. You could do all sorts of things to jazz it up and make it work with your cabinetry and things like that. Or maybe just clear off an area that you have had more decorative items on your countertop. Maybe it's time
to make that into your coffee bar area.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Area. Maybe it's a time to sort of revisit what's there. Like, I have these canisters there, but I never really put anything in them, or, there are batteries in them or something like that. If you cleared that away, maybe that would be additional space for somebody else to be making their lunch at the same time that you're making your own, or someplace for somebody to do some work. Maybe you set up a small table, or get a little mini desk from someplace, even from a children's section, a pottery barn or something like that. Maybe there's room in an area in your kitchen to slide something like that in. So rethink your space and see how you can optimize it.
I think that's a great idea. And the house we were in before, there was no island in the kitchen. And I bought a freestanding island that had kind of a stone top, and it had kind of some metal legs, and it had shelves. So it was great. And we ended up using it, even though it wasn't big. It was great to have. So there was like another chopping area, or somebody could be doing some work on some of the meal while I was in another space. So I think that is a great thing to do. And I know you work on that table, but if somebody's taller, they're going to want something that's the right height, which is the problem with using something vintage or antique. Often it's not the right height. But, if you can adjust it, if it's the right height, then fantastic. Because I love the look of the old pieces as an island.
Yeah. I don't do as much work at the table, like kitchen work, bowls, stirring and chopping and things like that. Usually I'm on the counter for that, but I find that the table is just so useful because everybody, we eat at it, but I do work at it. Other people are coming down and doing work at it. So it really depends on Yes, how tall you are, and what your needs are. But it can all work. And you may, even if you think, oh, I have the smallest kitchen, it's a galley style or something like that, look around. You might be able to find something that will work.
Yeah. What's the next trend?
The next trend that people are really honing in on is task lighting. We discuss lighting all the time. It's so important in your decorating, but it's really important in now when everyone's working home to have not just beautiful lighting, but lighting that is going to be functional. So task lighting might be missing in your home. It's missing in a lot of people's homes because you were out doing other things in other places and you didn't need task lighting. So what could task lighting be? Well, sconces can be used as task lighting. Under counter lighting in your kitchen could be task lighting. Swing arm lamps that can sort of adjust.
Those.
Yeah. Or the accordion ones that kind of pull out so you can push them back when they're not in use. But if somebody's sitting, they can pull them out. They can direct the light so it's really shining on the material that they need to read or something like
There's
that.
some really nice floor lamps I bought from IKEA a few months ago for our guest room because there's not room for nightstands there. And I put those up to use as some night lighting, when somebody's sitting in bed. But it has the arm that comes out that's adjustable. And so, it's really nice to have that light there. And it's right by the bed, so you don't have to walk all the way to the other side of the room to turn the light off.
Oh, good. Maybe you can link that one if they still have it, because I think that might be useful for people, and especially at IKEA, a good price point.
It was a very good price point.
Another thing that you might want to consider, and I just did this with a client, she had sconces in her family room. She's got 3 boys home, one's in high school, 2 are in college, working, the husband's working home. They have a small family room, and there were 2 sconces that really hugged the wall, and then the sofa in front of it. So they really were not useful. They could be sort of mood lighting on a dimmer in the evening, but they weren't going to help anybody see what they were doing. And there was just one bulb in each of them. But we really didn't have the room. So what we did was get another flush sconce, but with 3 bulbs. So if you have a sconce right now and it only has 1 bulb, there are plenty of things out there that have additional bulbs. And so she really tripled the amount of light that she had in this room, which also has no overhead light, with just changing out the sconces.
Right, and when you're setting this task lighting up, be sure you have the right wattage bulb in there and the right type of bulb, because some have a yellow light, a blue light. So make sure you've got that right. And for example, if you've got some lighting in your bedroom, you're going to want something incandescent that's kind of has the yellow tint, so it doesn't wake you up. You don't want that really bright blue LED light that's going to just shine in your face and wake you all up as you're trying to go to sleep and looking at your reading before you go to bed. So the next trend that I saw was rejuvenating your bathroom. And, we've talked about people are home all day now and they're reassessing their homes and kind of investing in them because now they're there all the time and they're noticing, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that or this isn't really working for me. So it looks like from some of the research I'm finding that a lot of people that are redoing their bathrooms are doing it so that it's more of a rest and relaxation station, not just a place to take a shower and run. So they're putting in steam showers, aromatherapy shower heads. So I thought that was interesting. You could just put a diffuser in there. I don't think you need the shower head. That seems like an overkill. But yeah, there's a place. People are having the trays on the tub where you have a place to put your wine glass or a teacup or something. And it's much more of a hangout spot, which I am all for.
Yes, a lot more self-care is going on rather than, race again, which I'm usually always doing. Even when I'm working at home, I'm always in a rush. I'm like jumping into the shower, jumping out. I never say, I'm going to go in and have a leisurely time in the shower. It's like, I'm jumping in, I'm jumping out, I'm quickly blow drying my hair. So I should really take a listen to this and maybe incorporate some things that would give me a little bit more calm, a little rest and relaxation in the bathroom. If you're interested in redoing or updating your bathroom, you should listen to episode 442, where we discussed lots and lots of ideas about updating bathrooms.
Yes, and we should link to the previous 2021 trend episode as well, so you can kind of get both of those.
Yeah. One trend that I really like, and we recently discussed this, I remember if it was a listener question or maybe it was in conjunction with the bathroom update, but fewer grout lines because the trend is tending towards oversized rectangular tile.
Well, I love that for the floor, and I have 1 foot by 2 foot tiles in my bathroom, and so I have that in one bathroom. The other bathrooms, I went small. I went to the hex tiles, but yeah, I love that look. It's really nice, and I'm with you. I'm not so crazy about the grout lines either, so this is a really nice look.
Yeah, and it really would visually expand the space as well. If it's a small room, I think putting the larger tile might give the sense of it being a bigger room. I have the hex tiles. I love them. They go with the age of my house. But if I was ever doing another house, which maybe I will someday soon, I don't know. I've always got some idea in the back of my head. I think I would definitely try to avoid grout in any way that I could. So going with the oversized tiles is a good way to be doing that. You know, as we always say, I wouldn't go crazy with the design on the tile. I would still stay very classic and neutral and simple. But yeah, maybe just the larger size would be a good idea.
Yeah, you want to add some oomph in the room, put a beautiful rug in there. And that's a way to add some color and to add some interest and some pattern. So, and then when you're bored with it or something happens to it, you get rid of it and get something else.
Yeah.
So that makes it much easier. So you know how we do like a base of neutrals, and then we like adding color. Browns and beiges are hot, apparently.
That seems like sort of an oxymoron. Beige is hot.
Beige and brown. I know,
Hot.
I know. Isn't that weird? It was kind of weird when I read that. I thought, I don't think of beige and brown as being smoking hot. But apparently they're, well, at least there's a prediction that they're going to be popular. And I think it's more of a kind of a backlash with all those cool grays. You know, there's still a lot of houses that got painted with a lot of those cool grays that don't age well.
Yes, and people wanted gray so badly, and they didn't listen to our episodes, and they went out and they bought gray paint, and they painted, and it turned out to be cold or too blue or all of that. And so maybe they're not unhappy about that. And maybe that's the people that are now going back to the beiges. But I think it's all part of what we've collectively gone through now. People are looking for comfort and warmth. Yes, because they're home a lot more, but also just because you want a hug, and a steely gray room is not giving you a hug. It is a look, or a really, really, really pure white sometimes is not giving you a hug either, depending how you've decorated with furnishings and whatnot. But warmer color, like earth tones in general, I think are really going to be prevalent for 2021. So yes, beiges, browns, and others.
Yeah, they're definitely warm, and that is a cozy feeling to have the warm colors. But I mean, my personal opinion, I'm not so sure about the brown. I think maybe beige, although I don't know. I could live another 20 years and not see another beige wall in my life, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm not going to go beige. And I think brown is very hard. Like, we talk about that navy room that you want to do, that, that library type of room in the deep, deep navy. And we ooh and ah about that pale navy we love. Well, I could see a really great chocolate brown. But it'd have to be a really great chocolate brown, and it would have to be in a room like that.
Well, I'm with you on that one. I think I could do that. But a
kind
muddy,
of not
terracotta-y brown.
No, I don't want to even say it, but it's the poopy browns. They're poopy. They're poopy browns. They just are.
You went there.
Well,
and you know, I have a problem with that. I have like a poop phobia.
You said toilets so many times during the other episode about bathrooms.
It was about a bathroom.
I thought you were over it. But I want to go there so other people don't, because let's just call it what it is. There's a lot of poopy browns out there, so be careful.
Okay.
And when you think about putting it on a wall, that's a lot of poop. So just don't even do it.
Oh,
Okay. Do you need me to talk for a little while now? You can't talk.
yeah, I'm a little bit clamped.
Oh my goodness. Well, more color is definitely on the horizon, but just be careful about what you're picking. As we always say, neutrals are nice. There's a lot of great colors out there. Maybe just take pause with the beiges and the browns.
Yeah, don't jump on that one too fast unless you just love those colors.
Yeah. Things we've talked about, I think, in the other episode, too, about rethinking the open floor plan. That is definitely something that's happening for 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off, yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. I don't know what people are going to do that have open floor plans if they decide they no longer want one. That's a tough solve.
Well, I don't see them going away, but I think what I see is people wanting one room, or some rooms that can be, maybe there's a sliding door that you can pull or something so you can petition a room off for quiet. But I still love the idea of open concept, but I'm with you though. You can't have two people doing a Zoom conference call in the same room, or a phone call and a conference call. And then actually I have had a request at my house to do something with the background, because apparently a certain somebody is going from audio calls to video conferencing, and apparently my vintage dishes on the wall do not present a very professional backdrop.
You have to get the faux law books that everybody stands in front of.
I don't know what I'm going to do. He may just have to go to the study. There's books in there. So I'm just I just said, can't you just move your seat around to a different place? Because he's like, oh, I think this is going to have to go. And I'm thinking, well, aren't there other solutions? Can't you just sit in move your chair around to the other side of the table?
Well,
but that apparently was not,
Well, this is one of the trends that I've talked about, and I wasn't even going to bring it up. but Zoom backgrounds. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what people need, right? Whether it's Zoom or some other type of video conferencing, people are really thinking about another reason to listen to our podcast, how to create vignettes, how to create a space that looks nice on a video, add a plant, put a few things that are different sizes around you, get the clutter and the piles of papers away from you, have something nice behind you. I mean, I would think do people really care? Couldn't you just do one of those fake backgrounends? Obviously don't put yourself on a beach somewhere, Kevin, but, do something professional behind you.
Yeah, some people do. Yeah, well, but some of those secure video conferencing, they're so weird. All they care about is security, and they don't care about, really nice backgrounds. So I don't think that's an option in his software. But yeah, we'll figure something out.
Well, he doesn't care, but he cares enough to say that vintage dishes aren't cutting it. So I don't know. I mean, he cares. We have to figure this out.
Yeah.
Lighter wood tones are also on the horizon. Now, to me, this kind of rubs up with the brown furniture coming back, but we'll see. Again, these are things we're reading. These are predictions. We're not there yet. We'll see. But they're saying, especially using these beiges and browns and different earth tones, that the lighter wood obviously would look nice with that rather than having all dark brown furniture and having these brown walls. So that might be something that you want to look into. Lighter wood furniture is pretty.
Yeah. And the other thing that I'm seeing is pergolas.
Yes.
So, and I wondered why a pergola, but the answer is obviously it's to extend your living space to the outdoors, and a pergola is a much more affordable way to add some outdoor space. So you're not having to build a structure, you're not having to build a roof, you're just doing the pergola. So it's a more affordable and quicker than actually building a structure, a more solid structure. So I think that's why that they are popular. So that's something that would be nice to do in a day or two. But I don't know. I just don't think they provide enough. My opinion, I never got the pergola thing because unless you have well-grown, some really mature vines on it, the sun just goes right through it.
Yes, the sun will definitely go through it, certain times of the day, wherever it is. But it does give you the sense of another space to be in. And maybe you put if it's tall enough, you put an umbrella, over your table or something out there. I have worked with several clients since this whole thing began in expanding their outdoor space in very economical ways. One couple did a deck, and then they did the awnings, like the sliding fabric awnings in the pergola roof, so they could pull them out and shut them. Another couple did one of those retractable awnings, which have really gotten a lot better looking. And it kind of, once it goes into the fascia of their house, you can't even tell that it's there.
Oh,
but
nice.
People really wanting to get that extra square footage, and also to be able to have a little bit of space where you can entertain comfortably because you're outside. My one couple that I was working with, they specifically did it because she was bringing her mom over a couple times a week from the nursing home, and the nursing home wouldn't let her go in her house.
Oh my goodness.
So she would have to sit, so they would sit outside. So this is where the awning came in. And then we did these beautiful seating, and they were so happy at the end of it because for themselves, going forward, and for this situation right now, they really expanded their living space. So it's a wonderful thing to do, to grab some of your outside space in any way you can, whether it's a small patio and you put up an umbrella, for now, for 2020 or into 2021, when things are going to be all better and we don't have to worry about this all, you'll still have the additional square footage.
When COVID is over, I think all the stuff that we're talking about, it's not bad to have functional spaces for more people in your kitchen and flexible spaces where you can close off certain rooms so that they can be used for videos or whatever. And a pergola outside. These are all nice things to have, even if you aren't stuck at home all the time. So I think these are great ideas. And the other, thing that we're seeing is the need for a place for home offices. And it may not be a room. It may just be, like you said, a nook in the kitchen. So I think that's something that is for people building new houses. I think that's definitely something that they're going to be thinking about is if everyone is stuck at home now or some point in the near future, how would you accommodate them?
Yeah, I don't think there's any going back. I think what we have gone through and how everyone has been forced or enjoyed rethinking their home and how it functions. I just think design is definitely has been impacted by this situation, and in a good way, because people are really analyzing their space. They have the time to be there. They're looking at what's going on, and if they have the ability and the means, they're making changes that make their home function better for them. So their home is serving them and serving all of their needs. And who knows who's going to be going back to an office anymore? I mean, imagine the savings for these companies if they don't have to have all this office space. Obviously that impacts other parts of the economy and all of this, and that's a whole different discussion. But I think there's going to be a lot of people working from home for the long run.
Well, I agree with that. And honestly, I anticipated something like this happening where people were working more from home several years ago, and I thought, well, I guess I was off on that because it just didn't seem to be any movement that direction, and all out of the blue, it's just boom, we're there.
You called that trend years ago. Hello.
Well, it seemed obvious that people could work from home, so why weren't more people working from home? Right. And the companies just weren't open to it at the time. But you were talking about the savings to the companies. You just think of all the clothes you don't need if you're going into an office. And just think about the parking downtown Houston is, this is just where we live, is very expensive. So if I had an office, I would probably maybe just want to be there maybe a day a week, and then I would probably opt to be at home the rest of the week if I could.
Oh, I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. So I think everything that we're talking about with these trends is reflective of what's been going on. And we just find that we need a sanctuary. We need that in our lives. We need a little self-care. I want to predict a trend, and I want to debunk a trend that I've been reading about.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's debunk first. I know since we've been doing the podcast, we have talked about this and laughed this off more than one occasion. The mod 80s coming back. That's geometric shapes, pop art, loud, bright primary accent colors, pinks and purples. There is no way that this is happening now. I don't know why they're talking about this. And there were some legitimate sites that were talking about, and the pictures that they had, you were like, oh my gosh, does Pee Wee Herman live in that house? Like, why would you want that? Is this from a Go-Go's video from 1982? No, we're talking about things that you need: calm and comfort and earth tones and bringing nature in and self-care.
But that's not for everyone. Some people love lots of color.
I don't think anyone's going to want the mod 80s to come back.
Well, they
in their home.
The mid-century modern, which it's not my thing, but a lot of people like it.
I guess, but this is different. It's very bad. Okay, so I'm just going to predict, sure. Are there a few people out there that might like this? And God bless you, enjoy it. But I don't think, because we're talking about trends. So this isn't like 3 people in the universe are doing it, like a trend. I don't think this is a trend.
Okay.
But one that I really think is no longer going to be this niche little trend that you hear about and then it kind of fades away. Grand Millennial. We called it back in episode 381 on November 3rd, 2019. Grand Millennial, I think, is here to stay. It's got enough of the traditional pieces in it. It shows people how they can sort of do their traditional look with a twist. It's got the comfort of the granny look. And you don't have to go hog wild. You don't have to have doilies.
what is called Grand Millennial, I love that style, but I hate the name because it sounds like, granny stuff, and I just picture stuff my grandma had in her house.
Yeah, but think of your floral dishes and all of that. What Kevin doesn't want to sit in front of. That's kind of Grand Millennial. I mean, you have your French country, and you've obviously made your own Cedar Hill farmhouse style, mixing in rustic and the little bit of the Texan and all of that. Clearly, you have your own style, but there are pieces that could be very clearly Grand Millennial in my decor as well. The chintzes that I love and things like that being pulled out.
I like the style. I just don't like the name of it, is what I'm saying.
Well, think of it as grand, not granny.
I suppose. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I predict that is going to be a very, very mainstream trend.
Well, yeah, vintage and antique just never goes completely out. And I know it's kind of the lowest ebb I've ever seen it at, but it's just so classic and so appealing that, I think it's going to go up and up and up, back up to really where it was.
Right. And a hallmark of the Grand Millennial is the brown furniture. So we'll tell you again, when you can, get out there and get yourself some really cheap brown furniture, because it's not going to be cheap for much longer.
Well-made furniture that might be priced well. How about that?
Yes, I don't mean cheap furniture. I mean, you can get it cheap.
That's true. That's true. Not poorly made. Got it. Okay.
So thanks to all our patrons, too. We wanted to give you guys a shout out. We really appreciate everyone that's been stepping up to the plate to support the show. So you can find out how to do all of that at our site, and we'll put a specific link in the show notes for anybody who would like to bless us with a little patronage. We'd really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Are you ready for the hot topic?
Yes. This is a goodie.
Okay, this is Click to Houston, which is our Houston Channel 2. Amy Davis was doing a few weeks ago a series on DIY videos. And this one, actually, I got to work with her on a DIY where we did peel and stick vinyl tiles on top of ceramic tiles to give it the look of marble tiles. Now, I'll include the link to that project. Evie and I were actually there helping her do the project. And, I mean, it was very fun, but, I honestly am not that into that project as I am into the one I linked to. So I'll link to both of them. But anyway, that's how I ended up working with Amy and kind of got onto all of her DIY for the week. And this one that we're linking to is a faux wallpaper for your walls. And it's basically you find some fabric that you like and you can put it on your walls like wallpaper using liquid starch, and you tack it into place and put it on with the liquid starch, and the tacks kind of hold it in place until it dries. And then you cut off the excess, and the seams are apparently, from what I could see, are very difficult to find. And you match it up just like you would wallpaper. And I saw it it was just very nicely done. It might be cheaper than doing real wallpaper, but of course the benefit is that it would be very easy to remove. And if there's any starch left on the wall, you can easily just get it off with a little wet sponge. Again, it might be less expensive depending on the fabric that you choose. And I'm guessing because the fabric is thicker than wallpaper, you might be able to go over a wall that's not completely flat.
I thought this was so interesting. I've seen, we all have, in higher end magazines where designers have used fabrics on the wall. And I always thought, that's just something you would have to have a team of people to be doing. You'd have to be Bunny Williams to have that done. But this kind of opens up a big opportunity for people to do, we're not so keen on the accent wall, but maybe you could try it on an accent wall, or you do it in a small space and see how it goes. Maybe you get fabric that's on clearance or something like that. The woman in the article spent nothing on it. It was like,
right. Now, I will give a caveat. She did say not to use it in a bathroom. I think if it's a powder room, you'd be fine, but not to use it in a room where you're taking showers and there's going to be a lot of steam in there.
Oh, that makes
sense. I think it would start coming off the walls, and it would not be a good thing.
That would be bad. But they were saying you could even use sheets.
Oh, that's a good idea, and that those are massively sized, so you wouldn't need a lot of seams on that.
I don't know. This is something I'm very interested in maybe trying. I was thinking a heavier material, maybe a linen, and have it sort of act like a grass cloth.
Yes. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Oh, wow. Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, I would love to do this.
But
So
what do you think?
Do it first.
If that's the thing. What do you think? If it went completely south, you think you just take it off the wall and you clean the starch off and it's as if you never tried it?
I would think so. It's liquid starch. I mean, that's what you would use. That's what they used in the old days to when they were ironing. So I think you're going to have to wash the fabric to get it off. But yeah, you just pull it down. You should be able to wash the fabric, use it for however you want it, and maybe just take a wet sponge to the wall. I think it's pretty reversible and wouldn't damage the wall or the fabric.
My concern would be the edges, too. I know she said use an X-Acto knife.
I had winced when I heard that. But how else are you going to get it exactly straight? So you might, if you did a really good job trimming it just right before you put it on, you might not need to trim.
Right. Well, I would say this is very interesting. Proceed with caution.
You could put a little trim piece over the top. You wouldn't have to trim then.
Yeah.
Just a little piece of quarter round or something, nothing fancy.
It's really interesting. It could add a lot of texture to a room. I think I would stay away from a pattern. I think it might be too hard because then you're kind of in the wallpaper.
She did patterns and it looked great.
Did she?
She did.
Well, then
you
I'm
need
sure
to go look at the video again.
Too. Oh, was there a video? I just read the article.
Oh my God, that's the whole point is watch the video.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I read the article. I don't know why I didn't see the video. I'm going to go look.
No, they all have videos. Yeah.
Oh, well, everyone has to watch the video.
Yeah, and then the video that I did for the news, it's pretty funny because there's a whole montage of it was really very difficult to line that vinyl.
Oh, was your video in there too?
Yes, it's on the one with the vinyl tile. I'll link to that.
Okay,
but
so you didn't
it was
send
just a
me that
montage
yet.
of me
Okay.
going, It's just kind of funny. Because we couldn't get it to line up.
Oh no, that's so funny. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT.
Okay, what's your crush?
So yummy and so easy. It's the Sunday Supper Tomato Soup by Ina. Love that woman.
Oh, does it have cream in it?
Oh, yeah, baby.
I'm sure it's delicious.
It's so good, but it's so easy. You know, tomato soup sometimes can just be the liquid, but this has a little bit more going on because she has you do leeks and onions and shallots. So there's a bit of texture, again with the texture, a little bit of texture in there. It's a little something going on. We did grated Parmesan on the top, and I'm growing this basil outside, so we put a little basil on it. It was absolutely delicious. So I can link to that. There's not a lot of salt in the recipe, and I'm kind of usually a heavy hand with the salt, but I followed her instructions. So you might want to salt it per mug or bowl.
Tomatoes need salt.
Yeah, she puts some, but not too much in there. And then I did something she didn't say to do, but I had read about this before. I happened to be the end of my Parmesan cheese and was at the rind, so I tossed the rind in there too. And I really think that added a depth of flavor.
Oh, wow, that sounds
Not that I would try to improve on IG and any of her recipes, but the rind was a good idea. In fact, maybe she gave that suggestion in another recipe some other time, but it really did, because then we had the soup the next day and it was even a little bit heftier and good.
Well, my crush is also a recipe.
Ooh.
So apparently we've both been cooking. Now this one, it takes a little bit of work. It is a gluten-free orange chicken. So, you know, a Chinese orange chicken. And I was kind of torn after I finished it because it was kind of a lot of work. So I kind of like wanted it to not be good because
You're like, is this a keeper? Oh, darn it.
I know, but I knew when I tasted it. I mean, I knew it was going to be good when I saw it. And then around the table there was, oh yeah, this is great. This is like you get at the restaurant. So it was, 2 thumbs up on it. It's really good. And it's, it's breaded, but it's gluten free. So it's got rice flour and cornstarch on it and, egg that you kind of make the batter with. And it was really delicious. But you don't have to grate any orange peel. So I guess that's a plus. But you do have to grate some ginger. But it was the flavor was just delicious.
Oh, that sounds good. My girls love that too. So yeah, I'm gonna watch the video and I'm gonna get the recipe.
Yeah, this one has a video. There's a video actually for the orange chicken too, I think.
Oh wow, I've got a lot to watch.
I mean, there's a lot of photos. I can't remember if there was a video because I looked at so many recipes. But this one definitely has several steps. But it is well worth it if you don't mind doing that.
We've got the time. Why not? Let's do it.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Okay, so we have a really good question today. And when I say good, all your questions are good and great and wonderful. But I think it really will pertain to a lot of people in a lot of situations. It's not very particular to anyone's room or whatnot. So our listener, Ramona A., she and her husband inherited a Spanish-style home from her mother-in-law. And was just really wanting to refresh it and bring it back to life, and they're going to use it as a rental property. So Ramona writes to ask, can she paint everything inside white? And is there sort of a universal white, a go-to white? And, in her particular situation, to sort of go with the red tiles and the black metal accents that you would typically find in a Mediterranean home. So she was very funny too, Ramona. And I assume your mother-in-law wouldn't be listening to this if you inherited her house. But she said that their mother-in-law chose whites that were dental office blue whites. And that really just says it all, doesn't it? Like everybody can sort of conjure that white in their mind. And that's just really not a livable white. So, Anita, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. In fact, I love the idea of a cohesive color throughout the house. And I think you're going to want something that's a little bit on the warmer side, though. I don't think you're going to want something that's, like you said, like a bright white. There's a very warm white we used on our house called Natural Choice on our woodwork, and it's just a very soft white, and it's not too stark. So I think that's certainly an option. But I know a neighbor painted the woodwork on their house. I mean, it almost glows. It's so white, and it's kind of blinding. And I was just, wow, that's really, really white.
Yeah.
So you really would not want that inside your house. Or I think it would just feel like it's attacking you, or that you were being interrogated. You know, all you need is just a really strong spotlight in your face, and it would feel like you're in an interrogation room.
I feel like you were in this house because this is sort of, Ramona said the white was so bright it was painful in some rooms, and she was looking.
Probably the same paint.
She was looking for a white that wouldn't make her teeth hurt. She's very funny, Ramona. You're very funny. So I really enjoyed your email, and I did respond a little bit because I didn't know. How quickly she needed this info, but I said we would be answering the question in an upcoming episode and you would be ringing in. But you said exactly what I said in the email. I would go with a warmer white, particularly if you're dealing with a home that has already some permanent features that tend to be warmer, like the red tiled roof on a Spanish home. So yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with painting the entire inside of the house one color. In fact, Anita and I were just doing a consult yesterday with someone, another listener, and she has rooms that sort of are open to each other and flowing. And we were saying, go white, because, where are you going to stop one color and start the other? So particularly in a home like that, or certainly an open concept home, and probably this older Spanish home is neither of those. But I think you could definitely paint it all white inside. Just maybe choose a different sheen for any of the woodwork. And you may not even have a lot of woodwork, because a lot of the Spanish homes have arches and whatnot as the detail rather than actually framed out trim and whatnot. So go for it, Ramona. My go-to white is simply white. It's pretty pure, but it definitely tends to be the warmer side. So and then you could find other whites. We did a whole episode on white paints. I have a YouTube video on choosing the right white paint, so we can link to all of that, and that might be helpful as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good white paints, so it really just depends on how warm or how cool you want to go.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the lead up to the holidays of 2020. And now we've got a little crystal ball on what's going on in design in 2021. Remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. I want to remind you that we are available for design consults. We take on your design dilemmas, questions, renovations, any project you want to talk about, any room, any space. We are here for you. And we really do enjoy doing these. And I think we've helped people a lot. So if you want to sign up for a consult, head to the link in the show notes. It's decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. We hope to talk to you soon.